Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and in this case checking out yet another Kershaw knife. This is a company I really like. Kai, which is like the parent company, also owns Zero Tolerance. I have a few Zero Tolerances. I have a few Kershaw knives. Now Kershaw is more of the budget-friendly line, and this is one of the models I picked up recently. You know, this was not sent to me, paid my own money, so keep that in mind. And even if it's sent to me, it really doesn't change my opinion. I just call it as I see it. And here I see a wonderful, beautiful little knife. Well, maybe not so little, depending on what you consider small or not. But it's a great EDC knife, by all means. Kershaw is a high-quality manufacturer, even in their more budget-friendly lines. I think these ones are going for $45–50. I leave the links below in Amazon if you want to go check it out. If you're interested in survival and preparedness, and yes, I do talk a bit about EDC, street smart, security, self-defense, defensive driving, and a bunch of other practical survival topics, you have my book, Street Survival Skills, which is packed full of information regarding a number of topics that are relevant to survival, preparedness in the more practical manner. Yes, a lot of self-defense, firearms, knives, using knives for self-defense, some of these basic techniques that have been proven to work, a lot of that covered there. Of course, even better if you go with an instructor, but you know, I've gone to firearms classes, knife fighting classes, and a bunch of other classes over the years, and I share my knowledge with you through that book. So if you want to check it out, it's available in Amazon there. Also, Surviving the Economic Collapse, topic that, yes, going on right now, pretty concerning, everything you're seeing. Now, going back to this, you probably have a number of, I mean, I have more knives than I could possibly need, guys. Let's be honest about this. You probably do too. But if you're looking at making a purchase, it's always good to get valuable information as of, what is it that I need? What fills my requirements based on what those are, and is there a budget-friendly alternative? Yes, Kershaw is definitely it for me. I like cold steel a lot, and they're a little bit different now with Lynn Thompson leaving the company. Spyderco, great knife company as well. Yeah, Victorinoxes. But for the kind of thing that usually goes well with what you want for EDC, Kershaw, Zero Tolerance are making some fantastic knives. And yeah, I've seen the videos from Cold Steel where they go and bang on the spine of the blade. Look, this is crap. You can actually, well, that's great. I love my Cold Steels. That's also a part of marketing, guys. Let's be honest. Your knife, unless you're going to be banging it in a machine, you're probably going to be holding your knife like so. So there's a number of things that are different from using a certain machine to try to test how much it breaks or not. And regarding the fragility or lack of in terms of locking mechanisms, I have one of the best examples I can give you is my Leatherman Charge TTI, which I've used for so many years, almost 2 decades now. And this blade I've used countless times. Yeah, I've always been pretty careful. Sometimes, I've had a nice break on me, more on that later, but this has always held to whatever need I had. Trying to be careful, but sometimes it was required to push it a little bit further, and this very thin liner lock kept going, kept my hand safe, and it didn't budge, it didn't break. And yeah, sure, you can get your super tough Cold Steel Code 4 or whatever it is that's being promoted these days. I don't even keep up with all of that, but you can have a super strong knife, but sometimes your basic liner lock is more than good enough. Now, here you have a bunch of interesting things going on. Kershaw uses some very well-known knife designers for both their high-end Zero Tolerance line and for their Kershaw knife. Well, actually, it's Kai, the one that owns both, though. So Kershaw would be the more budget-friendly line, but that does not compromise in quality. This is a very high-quality knife, nonetheless, designed by one of those legendary knife designers, Rick Hinderer, which designed a few of the Zero Tolerance I actually own. And here you see his work as well, executed by Kershaw, made in China, yes, of course, because budget-friendly knife. But there's really not much to point out where you can see, that this is cheap or lacking quality. Steel, 13 CR MOV, whatever it is the name. Yes, I think HCR MOV13. Anyway, the one that they're using is very good. It's high quality steel, even though it's more of a budget steel. I have a number of those knives in that steel, and it holds an edge very well, and it's actually pretty easy to sharpen too without being too soft, which can be an issue with some of the softer steels and the softer tempering mostly. But they do a fantastic job in tempering these things, and they hold on nicely. You have small, medium, depending on the size of your hand. I have a bit of a medium to large hand. Medium on the higher end of it, or small, large hand, I guess. 3¼ inch blade, which is decent enough for most tests. You're rarely going to be finding a situation where you think, oh, no, I just needed my 5-inch folding knife because this is just not going to be cutting it. Yeah, that's really not likely to happen. You have a pocket clip that goes in all 4 positions, which is actually quite nice because sometimes you don't have that in knives. Not only that, you have a small clip that is also black, so it's not going to be attracting that much attention, and it's a deep carry pocket clip. Look how deep that goes. It's going to be covering all of the knife, and with this tiny black pocket clip, it's going to be pretty hard to notice. Even the screw has a good bit of room in there, so as to slide the fabric in there and not tear into your jeans or pants, whatever you're using. And you have 2 ways of opening. You have your simple stud there, and most of all you have the flipper system, which is assisted opening. So you just put a bit of pressure there on the back, and boom, there it goes. This is not automatic, it's assisted opening, which is important because automatic opening is in many cases banned or forbidding, or you can get in trouble for having. They're just not okay in some places. So in those places where automatic knives are banned, assisted opening knives are perfectly legal because it's not automatic. You have to put a bit of pressure and then it finishes the job on its own. And as you saw, when I opened it using the stud, it's a little bit finicky because it kind of pops out a little bit, yet doesn't go all the way out. So I really prefer with these to use a flipper. Still, if the spring system, it has like a little lever there, if that breaks, that's not a problem. You can still use it as your traditional, with a stud thing and opening like so, like just you do with any other knife. Because of how well designed this knife is by Rick Hinderer, you have some interesting advantages. You have a flipper design that's also going to be working as a guard, keeping your hand from going forward and getting yourself cut, even when going a little bit hard with that blade. Blade geometry is quite nice, pointy enough, more of a wide profile. But when you have such a small blade, usually it's a good idea to have a bit of a wider blade, unless you're gonna be going very stabby, which can be also. I've never had a problem with this blade geometry. This has worked perfectly well for me, cuts fantastically well, good for piercing too. But here you have a little bit of both things. You have a nice tip and a well balanced. Again, this is all a matter of how well designed these things are. In terms of how it locks, you don't have a liner lock, which the liner lock is more than enough if it's well designed, well constructed, quality stuff. Here you have an even tougher, in my opinion, frame lock. Well, it's not just a matter of opinion. You just have a lot more material blocking the blade, and more of it, thicker. So yeah, this is gonna be more resisting in terms of holding that position even as you try to lock it. And one of the things I've seen is hitting who uses a knife like that. Honestly, I like frame locks a lot, and even more so than liner locks, because I know that if I'm holding the knife and I'm doing a lot of force with it, I'm gonna be gripping that knife pretty hard, and the more I grip it, the more I hold that position of keeping that piece of metal exactly where I want it, right in the way of the blade locking. So this has proven to be very successful for me over the years. I have no problem with frame locks whatsoever. Even with well-designed liner locks, they're just okay too. I mean, I have the Victorinox here, which has a liner lock, and it's more than a proven design. Victorinox does not do crap, so that's perfectly okay too. You have G10 on one side, steel on the other. Yeah, you're not getting any fancy carbon fiber or titanium, but again, $45-50. Check the exact price there in the link below in Amazon. But I think that this is more than just fine. 3¼ inch, yeah, was it? And it's gonna be about 7 centimeters, 6.5. yeah, depending on where you measure it exactly, 6.5 cutting edge, 7 centimeters total blade length. A fantastic pocket knife for anyone that wants a very well designed from a quality manufacturer that does stand behind their warranty. I actually tested that, and it's quite affordable too. See you on the next video, folks. Take care. Have a great day.